Thanks for watching this episode of Zacco's Fireside Chat. Today we're going to discuss the role of intellectual property in supporting a digitalization journey. I'm joined by Peter Hohnen, Head of Partnership Research and Intellectual Property at Anticimex, a global leader in pest control. Anticimex, with its proactive and preventing approach to pest control, with its smart monitoring solutions for preventing pests, is creating new, humane, more sustainable brochure solutions, reducing their environmental impact. The company was established in Sweden in 1934. Anticimex started expanding in the year 70s globally, and it's now present in 22 countries across the globe. In 2010, that was the start of their digitalization journey. They started developing their smart and connected device. In 2017, they opened their innovation center, where we're sitting now, and from where Peter works to create new concepts, to support product development, to test products, definitively to create new ideas and new technology available to Anticimex. Welcome, Peter. Thank you very much for having us here. And let's start finding out a little bit more about you and your background.
Thank you, Antonio. First of all, it's a great pleasure to have you here at our Innovation Center. I'm really happy to see you here. Most of my time I have spent digitizing products and helping teams move forward with this. I joined Anticimex in 2013, so 12, 13 years ago, originally as head of research and development, which was at that time a very small group. The last couple of years, I have, as you just said, just only headed up research and IP, looking for new jaw-dropping ideas. The basic function of us is to support our product development, to support our branches, and to support our product managers with new inspirational ideas that can drive the business forward, scale it, and, of course, at the same time, protect our IP.
Peter, let's go straight into your digitalization journey. So in the last decade, starting from 2010, you have started developing smart products, connected products. Now they are all part of your solutions, your services. And at that time, that was a kind of unexplored territory, so relatively new. Can you tell us a little bit more how you ended up there?
So digitization was unexplored territory, but I think you can safely say that Anticimex has been developing new concepts, new products, new ideas right back since 1934. That's the reason they have been able to work for so long. But of course, they weren't digital in the 50s. Very few people were. We got onto the digitization at a very early stage, as you said, in the 2010s. We started early on with sub-ground, tox-free products which were digitally connected. The original vision there was we want to be able to see on any screen, anywhere in the world, what are we doing, how are we getting on, how well are we performing. And more importantly, we wanted to drive this in a tox-free and sustainable way, ensuring that we would be using less tox than you would traditionally been using. Traditional pest control is very tox-based. We wanted to move in a new direction, and that's what we could do by digitizing, because that would give us completely new tools for combating pests, which of course we want to do. The first products we made for that were sub-ground, where we have been virtually alone right back since the early 2010s, where we were combating rodents in the sewer without using tox. And that has been highly effective, and that is an area where we are still virtually alone, thanks also, of course, to our IP and our strong protection on it that we have had ever since there. But for me, that is one of our core products and one of our core functionalities where we have really been moving far, far ahead in the digital world from our competitors. I can come in afterwards on other things that we have done, but it has always been important for us to be right at the forefront of the digital journey.
So you were saying, Peter, that the role of digitalization helped you and Anticimex to get into solutions which were less toxic or even no toxic. And I've heard from my colleagues that were working with you on some application where there should have been no reference to any poison at all. You were kind of first movers in this field. You were in an explored territory as first movers. Can you tell me more about the non-toxic, sustainable solutions that you are developing and the role of IP?
We want to be first movers there for many reasons. There's definitely a good business case in being first movers here, but most importantly for a much more sustainable world that have been used. Traditional pest control, I'd say it like that, is very much seen as a toxic dispensing system. Go spray, go do something, kill it. We would much rather educate our clients to say, we're not here to kill all the pests in the world. We just want to keep them out of their premises, because that's when they become a pest. They do a lot of good out there in the world. So we would like to have, for rodents, for example, mechanical systems where if a rodent comes in, we would like to just kill the one rodent that gets into your premises. So we would much prefer to train and educate our clients to keep the rodents out. And then we can monitor and ensure that if one comes in, then we can kill that single one without using loads of toxic material. In the old days, many people would probably see pest controllers as somebody who went around spraying up and down the walls. 3 foot up at the wall, 3 foot out on the ground, up, round. And that just turns into a tremendous amount of toxic material that is spread in nature, which is really not needed if you have a digital solution for it. And that's what we offer. We offer digital solutions where we can mechanically, for example, kill rodents instead of using poison. And we have monitoring systems, which I can also explain more about, to ensure that we know that they are not there, so that we can prevent and protect at the same time without spreading a lot of tox.
Impressive, amazing, interesting to hear from you about your digitalization, about the fact that you're trying to use no poison. Rather, you are using mechanical systems. You have respect for the environment. You are not killing all the rodents or insects. So you ended up creating smart devices, connected traps. I understood that now the installed base around the world is more or less 500,000 of those connected traps. Is that fair to say that these are the majority of your solutions and services?
No. We have an enormous potential there. I would estimate that connected devices is still less than 20% of our business. We have an enormous upside waiting for us there. But I'd also like to elaborate a bit, because we always end up discussing connected traps. Oh, you're the guys with the traps.
This is what I was using.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
But I would rather perceive us as being the ones that were the guys with the traps. We have stopped counting catches. We don't see catching rodents as the most important thing that we could do. I was alluding to it earlier. We would like to keep the rodents out of your premises. We have no interest in catching and killing them. We are moving much more heavily into monitoring so that we could connect all this, gather insights, and get the information from it. So what we do now is we help our clients protect their premises, and then we set up monitoring systems to monitor, do you have any intruders? Because no matter how well you protect your home or your industrial building, you will have pests coming in by one way or the other. It could be through food suppliers, through guests, whatever it can be. They will come there. So we have to monitor if they actually come in, and then we can react with spot checks there. When we do this by monitoring, we can much earlier detect when there is a small problem. At the best of causes, that we can monitor and detect when you as a client have a small infestation, and we can call you and say, we're going to come tomorrow because you have a problem. And you will most likely say, Antonio, no, we don't have a problem. We're fine. No, I know you have a problem, but it's so small that we'll come here and fix it before it turns into a major headache for you. And that's what we can do with monitoring, where we can see it. We can then connect that with weather data, with other data. We will be able to predict. So we can call you, Antonio, and say, we're coming next week. You don't have a problem. We don't think you have a problem, but we can predict you're going to have a problem based on the data that we have been able to pick up at your premises, at other premises, and collecting that together with other data, for example, weather data. And that way, we can drive sustainability even further and ensure that you have a safe home or a safe premises.
Peter, good that I mentioned, maybe wrongly, connected traps, triggering your reaction, your clear explanation about the whole process from monitoring to solving the possible problem to even prevent the problem to raise again or to grow. And that's all about interconnectivity. It's all about data collection. It's all about data analysis. What's the role of intellectual property in this specific field, which is literally changing the approach to innovation of Anticimex and this industry in general?
Intellectual property has always been important to us, right back in the old days also, but we had a more narrow focus back in the 1930s, the 1940s. Anticimex, as you may or may not know, Cimex is Latin for bedbugs. So we were originally against bedbugs. That was where the business was founded. And we were very strongly focused on bedbugs and rodents. Growing from a Swedish to then a Nordic and then a global company has given us a completely different exposure to the world, but also a different amount of pests that we had to control. I'm sure you understand we don't see many termites in Scandinavia, and so we didn't in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s have any interest in termites as a business. So that is one way that it has grown dramatically. But also, of course, with the introduction of digitization and the globalization of the world, it has been much more important for us to protect our IP. We have a very strong brand in many local countries, but that also gives us a greater exposure. There are more people that are interested in us. It is more important for us that we thus protect our brands, protect our inventions, because we do put a lot of effort and a lot of resources into developing these digital products. They don't come for free. Back when we started the digital journey, I think we were probably 3, 4, 5 people in the R&D department. Now we are more than 100 people. We, of course, want to protect this significant investment that we have put into this. And that is quite definitely thanks to you, we're doing that. What I see as a strong exposure is we have to ensure in a globalized world that we have freedom to operate. Therefore, we run all our ideas. Okay, maybe that's pushing it a bit too far. We run most of our ideas through you guys at Zacco to say, do we have freedom to operate here? Is this a good idea? To at least have it documented so that we know that we have done this and we have had a first assessment from you saying, watch out, or this is a blue ocean. Go ahead for it. And I think that is probably, apart from the sort of traditional patents, we have to have patents, that I think is one of the most important functions that you are supporting us with, ensuring that we have freedom to operate so that we do not make huge investments in something that we could potentially burn our fingers on at a later stage.
We appreciate to be your partner in business, so I understand that prosecution is of course vital for patents. Capturing early ideas gives you competitive advantage. And you also mentioned freedom to operate as a risk management tool to not burn your fingers for possibly expand your business in new markets. But we also have helped you in IP due diligence for new acquisition. Can you tell me more about this strategy?
With the formation of the Innovation Center back in 2017, we had a lot more attention and focus on innovation. And that, of course, we wanted to protect with your help. Thank you. But also equally important is we have had a very strong M&A strategy where we have been acquiring just around a company per week since 2017, 2015, where we have had to do a lot of due diligence also, some of it also with your help. But there it has been very important for us to understand what is the IP that's out there in the companies, what can we use, what can we not use, and do we have freedom to operate in this part as well. We are in 22 countries today across the world. We are in a lot of the US states. We actually, in June this year, went into Texas with the acquisition of 3 companies. Here it's important that we also have due diligence to ensure that it's the right companies we're using or that we are acquiring. It is important that we have due diligence when we are looking at technical companies or technical products we want to use or that we want to dive further into or collaborate with. But another way to look at it, which I find is equally important, that is our protected innovation is also a selling point when we're doing acquisitions. We see a lot of traditionally family-owned pest control businesses actually wanting to sell to us because we bring new technology to the market that they can serve their customers with going forward. And in that way, it ties up together. We protect it and we also utilize it for our acquisition strategy.
So, Peter, it's not only innovation and patents, but there are other forms of IP to protect, like brand and online presence.
Sure, a strong, trusted brand is part of our customer promise. We operate in several brands across the globe. In Europe, it's primarily Anticimex, but we have a lot of other brands that need protection in the US, in Australia, where we have a strong presence within the consumer market. We have to ensure that these brands aren't abused or misused, and we have processes for that to monitor this constantly to ensure that these brands are not diluted or infringed. As we grow, we become a bigger target. So ramped up IP means that we can monitor threats actively and take action when needed.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much for your valuable insights. It has been a lovely conversation. Congratulations for your achievements in this innovation center. I can say that your visionary leadership, your dedication, possibly your team's dedication as well, have propelled Anticimex to a new era of technological excellence, but also integrity in the industry. This is what I feel from your words and from experiencing working together with you on a daily basis. As we reflect on Anticimex digitalization journey, it's clear that your connected solutions are giving the clients, Anticimex, and the world great benefits. You are integrating now advanced digital platform into your services, into your solution. This is giving more transparency, more efficiency, possibly empowering your clients and your customers with real-time insight, and yourself and your teams with real-time insights. As we reflect on sustainability, with your smart technology, automated monitoring, and non-toxic treatments, you are reducing definitively the environmental impact footprint. And sustainability is really embedded in your product design, in your service delivery, and this for sure reflects on a modern vision of pest management. Finally, we're talking about intellectual property as a whole, the broad topic, given the visibility, the sophistication of your solution that make protecting your intellectual property, your brand, your platform, your technologies more important than ever. So we as Zacco, we really look ahead on our ongoing collaboration, and I think on our respective commitment to excellence.
For one, I can say I also feel we are on a really exciting journey to a more sustainable world that I'm proud of being part of. But first of all, I also want to thank you for coming here, and more importantly, thank your team for decades of qualified support that has also helped us get to where we are.
Thanks for watching this episode of Zacco's Fireside Chat. This episode was on the role of IP supporting digitalization journey with Peter Hohnen, Head of Partnership, Research and Intellectual Property at Anticimex.